Very sweet. Okay, we'll take a comfortable seat. Roll the shoulders up and away from the ears. Keeping the chest lifted, we'll drop the nose a bit toward the floor, eyes closed or soft. And with the exhale, try to let go. Let go of thoughts of your day, of anything that you're holding on to right now. And you can lengthen out the exhale to help you with that process. Really focusing on a complete exhale. We know that the exhale is associated with the parasympathetic nervous system. It helps us with the calming aspects of the body, the rest and recover sides of the nervous system. As you start to get a sense of grounding, a sense of calm moving through the body, you can move your attention to your inhale and slowly start to expand the inhale, allowing the inhale to push against the lungs and feeling the rib cage expand. Inhale is associated with our sympathetic nervous system, an energizing body. And by working with the two parts of the breath, we can bring balance to both energy and rest. Keeping your focus on each part of the breath and where you can feel the breath in the body. A couple more breaths here. And on your next inhale, slowly open the eyes, come back into the space. Let's work with the shoulders. Just gonna shrug the shoulders up and back, keeping the hands at rest. You might speed up the motion here, a little faster shoulder shrug. I'm going to pause that direction and we'll go the other direction. So it's more of a forward shrug, or maybe whatever's opposite for you. Starting slow and just feeling what that does in the shoulders. And then starting to go a little faster. And then coming back to center, we'll keep the chest lifted, drop the nose down, circle the nose around, the biggest circle that you can make. Opening up the neck. We'll pause in that direction and circle the other way. And the next time that the nose is in the starting place, we'll pause there and then lift the head. Okay, let's take your legs out wide. So we're going to have a wide leg straddle position. So you're going to be on the edge of that blanket so that the pelvic bone can tip a little bit forward, toes up toward the ceiling. Let's bring the hands together here, directly out by your shoulders. And then turning some butter, lean forward and then leaning back. So you should feel this in the lower back maybe, or the hips, or maybe abdominals. And keep that breath flowing. And pause that direction. Let's go the other way. And trying to keep the arms about parallel with the floor, level with the shoulders. And work our way back to center. Go ahead and release the hands down by the hips. Shoulders back and down, abdominals in. Let's come on forward, leading with the chest. So we're trying to keep that length here, tailbone the top of the head, not rounding the shoulders, feeling extension in the body. And if your shoulders aren't going to round and you can still lead with the chest, you might slip your hands down to your feet. So as you breathe here, we're breathing down into the hips and working on lengthening that upper body. On inhale, come on back up from there. We're going to turn toward the right. So we're going to try to keep lengthen the spine and twist around the spine here with our hands down for support. So turning your chest over toward the right, keeping both sit bones down. On inhale, come on back to center. And over to the other side. On inhale, we'll come on back to center. Supporting the knees, we'll draw the feet in and we're going to work our way into a cat-cow. Moving on to hands and knees. So once you're in your hands and knees position, coming into your cat-cow, inhaling, tailbone up, chest up, exhaling and arching the back. And remembering that the tailbone, hip bone is part of the whole thing. And when you're in that cat pose, the head just hangs, with no length in the back of the neck. And when you're in cow pose, really lifting the head and the chest, you'd be looking up toward the ceiling, dropping the belly toward the floor. Just trying to find where the edges are between these two postures. And the next time we come into cat pose, we're going to take that to a prayer pose. We're going to bring the hips all the way back and reach through the arms. On inhale, we'll come on back up to hands and knees. I'm gonna walk the hands forward just a bit and bring your hips in line for half plank pose. So shoulders over the hands, half plank. Abdominals supporting here, knees are down. And we're going to try to lower, we're going to try to bring your right elbow down to the floor, then your left elbow down to the floor, and then bring your shoulders back over your elbows. So if you need to make any adjustments between your knees and your shoulders, you can. So kind of coming into a forearm half plank pose. So the shoulders, we're going to try to get right underneath it, right over your elbows. The hips are a little forward, knees are still down. And you're going to push in your hands and the forearms and really feel a broadening across the collarbone. Try to draw your shoulder blades back down in the direction towards your hips. From here, we're going to come back up again into the half plank pose. So you can come back up. Yeah, good. Shoulders still over the hands. Yeah. All right, we'll do it one more time. If you think about when you went down the first time, if you went down on your right side, try to go down on the left side. Bring the elbow under your shoulders and come on down. Forearm half plank pose. Actively pushing into your hands, the forearms. Try to distribute the weight from your elbows onto the rest of the arm. And I'm going to come on back up again, bringing the hands underneath the shoulders, half plank pose. Good work. All right, elbows in. Let's lower all the way down onto the belly. And let's bring your left hand underneath your forehead and bring your forehead down onto the hand. And extend your right hand up in front of you, right arm over your head and on the floor here. Just the right arm. Just have it rest on the floor for now. And draw the abdominals in and put your tailbone toward the floor. So you feel some engagement of the core here. Going to root your legs down into the floor. On an inhale, let's lift just the right arm off of the floor, having it hover a few inches off the floor. So feel this in your shoulder. You're going to start to draw your shoulder down the back and rolling it out just the right shoulder back. Keeping your right arm off the floor, we're going to take it from over your head straight out to the right side. So we're just going to point that hand straight out from your right shoulder, elbows straight. Keep those abdominals working. Try to soften the rest of the body. And then bring now your right hand back over your head. And then relax it down onto the floor, breathing here. And then let's switch the hands. So you're going to bring your right hand under your forehead and extend your left arm straight over your head to start. Engaging the abdominals. When you're ready, lift the left arm off the floor, feeling your shoulder draw back and back towards your hips. So reaching through your left fingers. If you want to go higher, you could. Keeping the left hand off the floor, extend the arm straight out to your left side, drawing your shoulder blade back onto your back. And again, if you want to go a little higher, you can. And then we'll bring that left arm back over your head. Still off the floor here. And then you can set it down to rest and breathe. We'll bring both hands now underneath of your forehead. So the back of the neck is nice and long. And you reach through the toes of your right leg, right foot. So really lengthening out the whole right leg and pointing the toes, ballerina style. And then we're gonna lift that right leg off the floor. Try to keep the hip down. Let's see if you can get the thigh off of the ground. So again, we're engaging the abdominals super long in the right side, right leg. Keeping that right leg lifted, see if you can take the foot out to the side, any amount here. Out to the right side, knee still off the floor, thigh still off the floor. Still lengthening that leg. And then keeping the foot off the floor, we'll bring it back toward in line with your other leg. Good, then go ahead and rest down. Let the whole right side rest, breathe. I'm going to try that on the other side. So you're going to point the toes of your left foot, lengthening out the whole leg super long, and then lift that foot and leg off of the floor. Keep your hip bone down. Try to get the thigh off the mat, reaching through your left foot. Engaging the abdominals, supporting the back. And keeping that foot lifted, we're going to take the foot out to the side. Any amount here as if you were doing like a half jumping jack. Keeping that foot lifted, we'll bring it back to the center. And then go ahead and relax it down. Breathe into the back. And then we're going to come on up onto your elbows for Sphinx pose. So the elbows underneath of the shoulders, hands on the floor. Draw the shoulder blades down the back and lift the chest up toward the ceiling, opening the neck or front of the body. So the tailbone down toward the floor, upper body lifting. If you want a little more, you can bend both the knees, taking your feet up toward the ceiling. And then we're going to bring your feet back down. We're going to slip the hands back by the shoulders and push up to that half plank pose. And then all the way back to a prayer pose, hips to heels, breathing here. Let's come into full child's pose. I'm going to slip the hands back to hold your feet if you can reach your feet. And the head drops down toward the floor and the whole back of the body broadens. And then from here, we're going to work our way all the way up to standing. So taking your time, fill that up any way that works. And standing in Tadasana, mountain pose, shoulders back and down. Let's lift the toes of the feet, starting to feel where your balance is. Trying to come into that center of the body, very center of the body, very center of the feet, between heels and toes, left and right sides, drawing into your plumb line, which is that line that bisects the very center of the body. And keep your arches lifting, the two arches of your feet, which allow the toes now to soften down. So really feeling that connection with earth. We'll take the arms now up and over the head. We'll pause here with the hands shoulder width apart. Notice what that does to your balance. Find that center, that very center of the body. And then we'll bring the hands together across the thumbs, and let's tip down, crescent pose to the right. So as you drop down here, root into that left foot and extend, reaching through the hands. Inhale, come back up to center. And rooting into your right foot now, reach and extend, crescent pose, other side. Inhale, come back up to center. Release the hands to the lower lumbar spine. Draw the shoulders back and down and back bend. Tailbone forward, lift the center of the chest. You can look all the way back behind you. The further back you go, the more the hips have to come forward and legs engage. And abdominals in, we're gonna come all the way up. And let's reverse, keeping those abdominals supported, coming down for Uttanasana, standing forward bend, just releasing your hands down, whatever you like. Using those legs, toning the muscles of the legs, lifting the tailbone, upper body softening down, head dropping down to the floor. And then we'll take a deep bend in the knees and come on up ragdoll styles, rolling on up to standing. Straightening the knees once you get up, shoulders are back. All right, we're going to use our blocks here for pyramid pose. So you can grab a hold of your blocks, have them to the front of your mat, I'm going to take your right foot between the blocks and big step back on your left foot. I'm going to square your hips toward your blocks. So sagittal plane posture, both feet in connection with the floor. So you can step in as much as you need to get your back heel down and front heel, of course, down. I'm going to square those hips. So you're feeling that whole right side drawing back, the left side coming forward. Keeping all of that, I'm going to come on down and bring your hands onto your blocks. And notice when you do that, if you just lose what's in the legs, I'm going to re-engage. So active feet, active legs, and trying to balance your weight between your feet. So if one feels heavier than the other, and you're pushing into the lighter side. You really want to find that extension in the spine, tailbone, the top of the head, being super long in the upper body. If you still got more here, you can hinge at the hips and try to lead with your chest. You can bend your elbows or bring your hands a little lower on the blocks or the floor. Starting to bring your chest onto your right thigh. So you want to think about that more than curling in. On inhale, I'm going to come on back up onto the blocks. And we'll take that left block a little bit closer towards your front foot. Keep the legs where they are, engaging the leg muscles. We're going to twist into revolved triangle pose. So trying to stack your shoulders, opening the right hand up toward the ceiling. So we're twisting around the length of the spine. So making space between the vertebrae and then rotating. And we'll unwind the twist, coming back into pyramid pose, and then take a bend to your front knee, hop your back foot in, come on up to standing. All right, when you're ready, you're going to switch sides. So I'm going to take your left foot between your blocks, and a big step back on your right foot. And again, squaring the hips here toward the front, both legs straight, both heels down, active feet, active legs. So you're pulling from the feet up into the core, continually drawing your left hip back, right hip more forward. And then hinge at the hips to come on down with the hands on the blocks. And then be lost in the legs. Once your hands touch the blocks, then re-engaging here. Active feet, active legs, supported joints. And then making that space in the spine. So tailbone separates from the head, length in that spine. And then if you want a little more, you're going to start to drop with maintaining that length. Starting to drop your chest down over your left thigh. So you could come down lower on the blocks, or you could bend the elbows, or you could maybe bring your hands to the floor. It's just trying to not round to get there, or trying to not bend your knee. to bring your leg in closer, but instead it's really leading with the heart, leading with the chest. And then we'll extend back up, lengthening the spine, and we'll come into revolved triangle pose. So bringing that right block in a little bit closer to your left foot. Keep that extension in the spine, opening the chest now out to the left side, stacking the shoulders, and bringing that hand up toward the ceiling. Revolved triangle pose. So trying to draw that top shoulder way back to stack on top of the lower shoulder and really reaching through the hand toward the ceiling. See if you can separate the shoulder blades. And then we'll unwind, coming back into pyramid pose. Take a bend to the front knee, bring your back foot in, and come on up to standing. All right. Let's work a little bit on tree pose, on balancing. So we're going to be balancing on the right foot, standing on the right foot. So finding that center, that plumb line, can help you to really connect with that right leg. And so when you're slightly shifting from the center of the body into the center of the foot on the right side, you can bend your left knee, take the knee out to the side. So that's an outer spiral, outer rotation on the left side. And then the foot anywhere you like. It can stay on the floor, could come to your inner shin, above the knee to the inner thigh, wherever is a challenge for you today. Hands where you like. Challenging balance, staying present, keeping the breath flowing. Good, I'm gonna come on out with control. Nice. All right, let's try the other side. So again, we're gonna kind of shift from the center plumb line and shift everything into the center of the left foot. Toning the muscles on that side, we'll bend the knee on the right, taking the knee out to the side. Still connecting with the full left side of the body, You can go ahead and place that right foot wherever you'd like. And again, remembering to keep the breath flowing. The air flows through the trees, through the leaves, and yet the tree stays strong. Tree may sway, but it's still there. And come on out with control. Good work. All right, we're going to work our way down onto the mat, all the way down. And actually, I think we'll come all the way onto the back. Just have a strap. So grab a hold of the strap if you have one. So starting with knees bent, feet on the floor, making sure that the neck is in a good position, the head's in a good position. Let's start with a thread the needle pose. So let's take your left foot onto your right thigh, and then pick up your right foot and start to draw the knee in close. So your left knee is going to move away from the body, the right knee moves in. You can wrap your hands either through the triangle around your right thigh, or you can extend your right leg and then grab a hold of the right leg above your left foot. Either way here, you're going to start to draw that right knee in closer and try to keep the strain out of your neck, your shoulders. To keep your hips down as much as you can on the floor, softening the back. Go ahead and release the legs and unwind them. We'll bring the feet back down to the floor. And before we go to the other side, let's do a quick bridge pose. So walk the feet in closer to the hips, hands down by the hips, the shoulders draw down toward the floor. When you're ready, push into the feet. Use the strength of the legs. Lift the hips straight up toward the ceiling, bridge pose. So the higher you go, the more you need to push the shoulders down and let the chest come toward your chin. We're breathing uphill into the belly. And then slowly lower the hips back down to the floor. We're going to work our way the other side of thread the needle. Right foot onto your left knee. Picking up your left foot, drawing it in close, and then again, grabbing a hold of either the left thigh or above the right foot onto that left leg. Starting to bring that knee in closer, but trying to not stress the upper body to do so. So keeping the shoulders soft, the neck soft, hips down on the floor. And then we'll go ahead and release the legs, bringing the feet back to the floor. So we're going to push in the feet, lift the hips, move them to the left, and set them down on your outer right hip. So you're kind of off to the side a little. And then pick up both feet and with the knees bent, draw them in close. We're going to grab hold of your strap now and take your strap around both feet. So the strap is around both feet, the knees are bent. We're going to keep the knees pulling in close to the chest and roll all the way onto your right side. So you're going to bring your knees and down to the floor on the right side. And then keeping your thighs up close to you, we're going to try to straighten the legs now. And so here you can walk your right hand down your strap towards your feet. And maybe you don't need the strap and you can actually grab a hold of your feet. You could do that if you like. So the right hand down as close to the feet as you can, both legs straight. We're going to try to push through your left foot, left heel. See if you can stack your feet one on top of the other. Both legs straight, both feet stacked, heels stacked. And then from here, we're going to open the chest toward the ceiling. See if you can open your left side of your body, drop your left shoulder down toward the floor. So you're holding your strap with your right, opening out toward the left of the upper body. Still trying to reach through that left heel, still trying to lengthen that side. And then to come out, opposite the way we got in, I'm going to go ahead and bend your knees together. Roll on back to center, bringing your feet to the floor so you can find center spine. And then we'll push into the feet, lift the hips, move them to the left, or sorry, to the right, and set them down on your outer left hip. So now we're coming to the other side. You're going to pick up your feet, draw your thighs close to the belly. And keeping your thighs then close, we're going to roll all the way over to the left side. And then you can extend your legs. So your feet might be up near your shoulder, might be shoulder height here. And you can hold the strap close to your feet with your left hand and trying to reach through the right foot. So I'm going to try to stack the right foot on top of the left foot, lengthening out that whole side. And then we'll open the chest toward the ceiling, drop the right shoulder down, really getting into that twist here. And then to come out, we'll bend the knees, roll on back to center. You can release your strap, find center spine. And then as you're ready, work your way into a Shavasana, corpse pose. Making sure that you're comfy and that you can soften the body. Allow the body to rest. Also allow the mind to rest. See if you can let go of thoughts. Really just drop into that sensory awareness. Bring your awareness back to the breath and the body. And allow some movement to return. And as you're ready, make your way to a seated position. Hands together at the heart. Just recognizing how fortunate we are to be able to practice together. I hope that you have a wonderful rest of your weekend, and I'll see you next time. Namaste.